She clutched her backpack like it held her entire life. Because it did. In the shadows, two men closed in. Papers scattered. Her watch shattered. Hope slipping away until one steady voice cut through the night. Stand down. What happened? Next will leave you breathless. The city lights blurred into streaks as Olivia Carter hurried down the cracked sidewalk. Her backpack dug into her shoulders, heavier tonight than usual. It wasn't just the weight of books and her laptop. It was her whole life packed in fabric and zippers. She checked her wrist out of habit. The watch face was cracked, frozen at 5:17. It hadn't ticked in weeks. Still, she wore it. The silence of that broken watch felt like company. Even when the streets grew empty, her mother always said not to walk this way after dark, but Olivia had been at the library too long, working on scholarship forms that could change everything. Her bus stop was only a few blocks ahead. The air smelled of oil and damp pavement. Streetlights hummed, one flickering weakly, as if unsure it wanted to stay alive. Footsteps followed. At first she told herself they belonged to someone walking home, but they kept pace with hers. Slow when she slowed, quick when she quickened. She gripped the straps tighter. Her knuckles turned pale. Reflections in a shop window showed two shadows. Male, tall, too close. Her chest tightened. She considered crossing the street, but traffic flew past in streaks of headlights. No chance. Ahead, the sidewalk narrowed, swallowed by dim light. Her thoughts tumbled. Call someone. Say what? That she felt hunted. Dispatchers had no patience for uncertainty. She pressed forward, hoping the glow of the bus stop sign would grow brighter soon. Her broken watch caught the light, the frozen hands mocking her. Time wasn't moving. Not for her. Not tonight. A laugh echoed behind her. Not joyful, sharp, deliberate. She quickened her pace. The bus stop was still 2 blocks away. Empty. No crowd, no safety. One of the men coughed. The sound was purposeful. She felt her stomach twist. They wanted her to know. They wanted her fear. She thought of her wallet inside the bag. Empty of money, but holding her ID. Without it, she was no one. She thought of the essays she had rewritten until her fingers ached. Pages that might decide her future. Then the yank came. Strong. Her shoulder wrenched backward as a hand closed on her strap. Another hand twisted her wrist. She gasped, the air leaving her chest in a single violent breath. Her scream tore through the street, raw and desperate. But people only glanced. A man across the road turned away. A woman pulled her child closer and hurried off. No one came. The zipper screeched open. Papers spilled. They fluttered across the sidewalk like broken feathers, vanishing into the gutter. Her laptop slid halfway out. She clawed at it, her nails digging into skin not her own. One man cursed. The other grinned. Her knees scraped against the pavement, warm blood mixing with dirt. She kicked backward, heel striking bone. A snarl answered. Her hood was yanked. Her face slammed against a chest that reeked of sweat and smoke. Her broken watch struck the ground. Its face cracked further, splintering into a spiderweb of glass. Let go, one hissed. She couldn't. She wouldn't. Their shadows loomed taller in the glow of the flickering streetlight, and then another shadow appeared at the end of the block. A figure, upright. Still, a voice cut through the chaos. Calm and unwavering. Stand down. The word stand down froze the night. Olivia blinked, her cheek pressed against the pavement, breath coming in jagged bursts. The men's hands loosened for the briefest second, not from pity, but from shock. Someone had entered their world, at the far end of the block. Under the halo of a flickering streetlight, stood the officer. His silhouette was calm, unshaken. One hand hovered near his belt, the other raised slightly, palm open. He didn't shout. He didn't move fast. He didn't need to. The taller man spat to the side. His grip on Olivia's backpack stayed firm, but his eyes shifted. Not your business, he muttered, though his voice carried a tremor. The officer stepped closer, boots clicking steady on the cracked pavement. It became my business the moment you touched her. Olivia clung tighter to her backpack strap. The nylon cut into her wrist, leaving a raw welt. She could barely hear her own thoughts over the thunder of her pulse. But one thought pressed hardest: don't let go. The shorter man rifled through the bag with greedy fingers. Her wallet slipped free. It opened in his hand. He laughed a harsh, ugly laugh. Empty, he sneered, shaking it like a toy. She fights like this for scraps. The sound cut Olivia deeper than any bruise. That wallet had no money, but it carried her bus pass, her ID, the one photo of her mother that had survived years of moves. Empty of cash, full of meaning. Drop it, the officer said again. His voice didn't rise, yet it pressed heavier than any shout. The taller man tightened his grip on Olivia's hair. Or what? He growled. But the way he shifted, the way his shoulders hunched, betrayed doubt. Or you regret it, the officer said. A silence stretched, taut and dangerous. Somewhere above, a window curtain twitched. Someone was watching but not helping. Olivia's nails dug into her palms. Her knees burned against concrete. Papers littered the gutter like broken wings. She thought of the cracked watch on the ground, frozen hands that refused to move. Maybe her time had stopped to dot. The shorter man's smirk faltered. We need to go, he muttered. His eyes darted to the alley. Cops will be crawling here in minutes. The taller one snarled, yanking Olivia forward. She cried out, her vision blurring. She's nothing, he spat. Just a girl with an empty wallet and busted dreams. But the officer took another step. His voice dropped lower, steadier. Last chance. Let her go. For the first time, Olivia felt something shift, not in the officer, not in the men, but inside herself. A flicker of defiance. She forced her body upright, gripping the backpack strap with every shred of strength left. You can't take it, she rasped. You can't, the taller man cursed. His hand lifted, as if to strike her again. The officer's voice cut through, sharper now. Enough. And then sirens. Distant, but growing. The attackers stiffened, torn between violence and flight. Olivia's body trembled, caught in the balance. One more pull, one more second, and everything would snap. The sirens wailed closer, bouncing off the walls of the narrow street. Blue lights flickered faintly at the far end. The taller man's jaw clenched. He shoved Olivia down hard, ripping the backpack free from her wrist. The strap snapped. Her scream cracked through the night. She lunged, scraping her hands raw on the pavement. Blood smeared across her palms as she clawed at the bag. But the men bolted. Their shadows stretched long behind them as they sprinted toward the alley, the shorter one clutching her backpack. Stop, the officer barked, his voice steady but forceful now. He broke into a run. His boots hit the ground like hammers, echoing down the street. Olivia pushed herself up, legs shaking. Her lungs burned as she stumbled forward. No, she cried, reaching after them. But her body betrayed her, weak, trembling, slowed by fear and exhaustion. The alley swallowed the men. Darkness devoured her future. Olivia staggered after them, past the broken watch still glinting on the ground, past the scattered pages of her essays, until she reached the mouth of the alley. She froze. The alley stretched into a dusty road, littered with trash bags and broken bottles. A single lamppost leaned crooked, its light too dim to chase the shadows. The men were already halfway down. The backpack bounced against the shorter one's back. Her legs itched to run, but fear cemented her shoes. The officer's voice carried, "Stand where you are." The men didn't listen. They ran faster. The sirens screamed louder now, the blue glow swelling closer. Olivia's throat tightened. She thought of everything inside that bag. Her laptop, her papers, her empty wallet with the photo of her mother. Her chest heaved. She couldn't lose it. She wouldn't. Ignoring the sting of her cuts, she stepped onto the dusty road. The grit bit into her wounds, but she pressed on. Her voice cracked as she shouted, "Stop, please." The taller man turned, eyes wild. "Keep moving," he barked at his partner. The shorter one stumbled, the bag slipped. For a moment, just a moment, Olivia saw hope. Then headlights swept across the alley. A police car screeched to a halt, blocking the far end. The men froze dear in the beam of inevitability. The officer's voice thundered now, on the ground. Olivia's knees buckled as relief and dread collided. Her bag dangled inches from freedom, but the taller man's hand slid inside his jacket. Olivia's breath caught. The dusty road went silent. The taller man's fingers closed inside his jacket. Olivia couldn't breathe. Her scraped hands trembled against her chest. Blood dried in streaks. The officer's voice boomed, "Don't." Blue lights washed the alley in cold glow. Sirens echoed, sharp and slicing. The shorter man dropped the bag, hands raised, panic overtaking greed. But the taller man's pride burned hotter. His hand twitched, his chest heaved. "We don't run," he snarled, though his voice cracked. The officer's stance didn't shift. His hand hovered near his holster, calm, steady, ready. "Think about it. A backpack. That's all this is. Not worth your life." Olivia's knees dug into the gravel of the dusty road. She wanted to scream, to beg, but her throat locked tight. She watched the backpack lying between them, torn, dirty, zipper half broken. It looked so small, yet it carried her whole world. "Drop it," the officer said again. His tone carved through the tension. The taller man's jaw clenched. His hand twitched once more inside his jacket.